Welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World, my friends. And it is absolutely the first Tuesday of the National Football League. The season is now back in session, and we got a lot to talk about today on the Prime. Of course, I'm joined by my good friend from the Daily Blitz.blog and the co-host of the guy who called the Bills-Jets game last night for the Nerd Port. Hopefully, you guys all checked it out. 400 people checked out that broadcast last night. So shout out to you, Christian. Kudos to you, man.
Thank you.
But it's good to have you here on the show, man.
Yeah, man. It's good to be back. And David, I think we're past the friend point. I think we're at brotherhood now.
Yeah, all right. I'll give you that. We're brotherhood, yeah.
My man.
But I'm David Alvo and Huffman. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. As we're going to be running through week 1 of Monday Night Football. Then we're going to give you our week 2 predictions. Also, we have a streaming platform, so if you want to check us out over there, that's in the comment section to all of the places that we stream. Let's get right into it without wasting any time. Let's talk about Monday Night Football. Obviously, the Jets win the game in overtime, 22-16. But the bigger picture is probably more important than the result of this game. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers gets injured after 4 snaps, tears his Achilles, does not return in the game. Just talking about that for a second, what do you think, what's your level of disappointment, and what do you think the Jets do now?
I'm devastated for him. You know, look, it doesn't matter whether you hate a particular team, you may hate a particular player. You never want to see that happen to anybody. And I've seen people celebrate this online. You know, you're always going to see that select few. Like, don't do that. And that just goes to show that they're miserable with their life as a whole. David, let me tell you something. Being out here, I don't think I've ever seen buzz surrounding the Jets like this, maybe ever. And this goes back to when I was living out here before I moved to Illinois, because this truly is a Giants town. But I mean, everybody was buzzing, and just seeing Aaron around New York City at Knicks games, at Rangers games, at the Taylor Swift concert, smiling. Like, he just seemed like he was so excited to start that next chapter. And it was a legendary quarterback beginning his next chapter. We saw it with Favre, we saw it with Peyton, we saw it with Brady most recently, and now this was Aaron's turn. So, you know, it's tough because Aaron's a staple of this league. He's an elder statesman of this league, and I don't know if you've heard like so many of his teammates talking about him. McCole Hardman, can't say enough about him because McCole Hardman's had the privilege of playing with both.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes, and he would have played with Aaron Rodgers. And I mean, Quentin Williams said he's just taken everything in from the future Hall of Famer. And then you see the relationship he's built up with Sauce Gardner. So it really seems, you know, he truly bought this team together. And I think I can say this on behalf of both of us. You know, we wish him the absolute best. I know this is
going to be. I hope he comes back and gives it one more go.
I think he will, because that cannot be the last memory of his career. That can't be. I mean, he was loose before the game. He was smiling. I was looking forward to this. We did the shameless plug. I previewed it. I called it after I was talking to you guys yesterday. But yeah, I'm devastated for him. I really am. I've always had respect for him. I mean, look, he's probably one of the best that we've seen do it. He's gonna get that gold jacket whenever he decides to retire. He's won 4 MVPs. He's won that Super Bowl. Probably one of the best pure passers that I've seen, because it's a flick of the wrist.
Yeah.
With him. Like, he doesn't put much effort into throwing it. Like, I see him drop back and it's boom. And he puts that ball exactly where he needs to put it. All right, I think I lost him.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, I think that it's a devastating loss. I mean, the Jets, all the hype around the Aaron Rodgers debut. I think you've summed it up all beautifully. I don't think I need to add too much more. I feel for Aaron Rodgers moving forward. I'm not sure what the Jets do. I mean, Zach Wilson was just okay. I know he didn't get a lot of first team reps, and he threw a touchdown, but he basically threw an interception. Garrett Wilson bailed him out. I don't know what they do. I mean, there are a lot of free agent quarterbacks right now that could be available. I mean, but I'm not sure there are better options than what you currently have on the roster. So, I mean, that's a conversation for a whole nother time. Moving into this game, it might have been one of Josh Allen's worst performances as a pro, at least last 2 seasons for sure. 29 of 41, 236, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. One of them was basically a punt, but it still comes down as a stat sheet as a pick. James Cook was pretty solid in this game for them for as limitedly as they used him. 12 carries for 46 yards. Stephon Diggs continues to be good. 10 carries for 102 yards and a touchdown. Zach Wilson obviously came in for Aaron Rodgers. 14 of 21, 140 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Breece Hall, good to see him back in the NFL after tearing that ACL in the offseason. 10 for 127, including an 83-yard scamper. Garrett Wilson had the lone receiving touchdown for the New York Jets.
Yeah, I was disappointed in Josh Allen's effort, but I love the accountability and the responsibility he accepted. At that, he goes, look, I cost us a football game, and damn it, he did. I'll say this.
And I didn't even include the fumble that he had, too.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I'll say this, though, about the fumble. That's when I knew this game was over. That's when I knew the Jets were going to take it because he was shook after that. But when I look at the AFC as a whole, and David, I've said this to you off the microphone, I can't stand in the moment sports fans because everybody's saying this is Miami's division for the taking. I'm going to be completely honest with you right here. I still think this is Buffalo's division to lose, and I'll explain why. One, the Jets had a setback. We don't know what they're going to do this year. Their whole trajectory changes now, right? 2, New England doesn't really scare you like they used to. And like we said, Tom Brady ain't walking through that door. Well, he did the other day, but he was in street clothes. And Miami, I think Miami's probably the biggest threat to Buffalo. But 2 is a wild card because he can never stay healthy. So if Buffalo continues to play like this, they're not going to win this division.
Let me just take a quick second. Welcome on TJ Hopkins into the show. It's one of those really terrible games for the Buffalo Bills. They deserve to lose this game, and they did. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening moving forward. TJ, you just want to throw your 2 cents in here real quick before we move on to game balls?
Yeah, I saw the video in slow-mo of Aaron Rodgers' injury. Like, you could see it.
Me too.
You could see it snap. And I'm like, damn. Like, it literally made me wince in pain. I'm like, good God. Other than that, I don't know what it took. I don't think it should have took Aaron Rodgers coming in to wake Zach Wilson up because we saw something different. Like, the interception was bad, but that's about it. Like, that was about the bad. As bad as Zach Wilson, that's about the only bad from Zach Wilson we saw yesterday. And I just want to remind folks the Jets won 7 games last season with quote unquote bad quarterback play. And Zach Wilson, I don't know what it took. Like, it shouldn't have took them signing Aaron Rodgers for Zach Wilson to be like, hey, I have to be better, otherwise I'm going to be out of the league. Like, everything's in place for you to be successful.
I mean, but he wasn't. I don't think he was all that. I mean, outside of the touchdown, even that touchdown wasn't a great throw. I don't think he was all that good. I think he had a couple throws. Obviously, he had no first team reps, so he was kind of throwing in completely cold. But
right,
I wouldn't say that he was. I don't think he was that good last night.
I didn't like the push off call on Stephon Diggs on that last drive. That's just bad officiating to me. You can't let that go on all game. Then all of a sudden, the last 2 minutes, you're gonna call it like that. I don't like the fact that they missed that tripping call on the punt return.
I mean that is something that should be reviewable. Like they should be able to go back and be like, we missed it, let's fix it. Because he can't. I mean, almost, you know.
At the end of the day, the Jets still probably would have won because even if they called the penalty right there where he tripped them at, that's field goal range. All you got.
It's a 15-yard penalty. I mean, Greg the Leg Zerling has one of the strongest legs in the league. He'll probably just gain one more yard and he still kicked the game-winning field goal.
Still kicked the game-winning field goal. I was told, and Christian can attest to this, I was told that Josh Allen was better all time than Cam Newton. Yeah, that's a freezing cold take at this point.
It's a sour take.
Yeah, like Cam Newton, they never had a Stephon Diggs to throw the ball to, and that's no disrespect to Steve Smith, because like it ain't like Steve Smith was in his prime by the time Cam Newton got there, right? Like, so that's no disrespect to Steve Smith, but we saw Cam Newton with a less than stellar roster take them to the Super Bowl and win MVP. Josh Allen has been basically gifted pretty much everything, right? It's like, oh, we got to make him better. We're going to give you Stephon Diggs. We're going to give you James Cook. We're going to give you, we're going to add Von Miller to this defense so this defense can get the ball back in your hands and so on and so forth. And he gave Jordan Whitehead, I think that's his name, he earned his bonus in one game. Dude got a 200, like in his contract, he got a stipulation of $250,000 if he finished the season with 3 picks. Josh Allen gave him his bonus in one game.
Yeah, it was not a good day at the office for Josh Allen. Moving on from week number 1, as we put an end to this chapter and open up the next one, let's talk about game balls. I'm going to go first because I usually let you guys go first, but I'm actually going to give my game ball to the Detroit Lions as an entire franchise. A lot of hype around them going into the season, and you come out and beat the Kansas City Chiefs to champions with Dan Campbell there and great Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Sun God. Just kudos to the Detroit Lions because the hype was there. It was easy for you guys to fall flat. Didn't do it. Believe in you. Go ahead, Detroit. Celebrate this one.
Christian.
Go ahead. I'm looking mine up.
Oh, he looking his. I mean, it's hard to ignore what the Dolphins did. You can go one or two ways, but I'm gonna go Tua, man. 11 catches for 215 yards. That's just at that point, it's like, yo, what can you do? Like as a defense, it's like what can you do?
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna go Christian McCaffrey, my namesake. 22 carries, 152 yards rushing, almost average 7 yards per carry, and 1 touchdown in that big win, in that 30-7 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 1.
Moving on from there, let's talk about week number 2. And week number 2, of course, starts with Thursday Night Football on Prime Video. So hopefully you got Prime Video so you can watch those games with Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit. Hopefully we get a better selection of games than the ones we got last season on Thursday. Because you guys remember,
we ain't out to a good start.
Yeah, that was rough. Thursday Night Football, we got the Vikings and Eagles. Last time these two teams was obviously last season. They played at the very beginning of the season where the Eagles beat them down 24-7. It'll basically almost be a year to the day that these two teams played. How do you see this game shaking out, TJ? Eagles, Vikings.
Same as last year.
Christian.
I like Philly. Minnesota. I don't trust Kirk Cousins in primetime games. And last week, Minnesota, they overlooked Tampa Bay and they got punched in the mouth for it. Like I said yesterday, there's an imbalance with the Vikings because when their defense is doing well, like they did on Sunday, their offense struggles. Or when their offense is doing well, their defense struggles to get off the field and they end up giving up the lead. But I just think Philly across the board, they just have too many mismatches. And I don't trust this Vikings secondary against these Philly receivers on the perimeter. I like Philly.
I'm actually going to pick probably my spoiler of the week. I'm actually going to go Minnesota. I didn't love what I saw out of Philadelphia week number 1.
I mean, that's
and I understand that the New England Patriots have a very good defense and was able to limit the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, Jalen Hurts didn't play much in the preseason. I think that plays a factor. But I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. The Kobe Dean's out for a few weeks now. I'm going to go Vikings. I think they're going to bounce back. I think they have to have a sour taste in their mouth that they let a game slip away against Tampa Bay. I'm taking the Vikings to beat the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. I realize that I probably will get that wrong. But
no, that's fair. I mean, I'm not knocking your I'm not knocking your logic behind it. What I said was going to be hurtful for the Philadelphia Eagles was kind of evident on Sunday against the Patriots. You got a bunch of second year guys and rookies playing in positions where you had key contributors. N'Kobe Dean, that was TJ Edwards last season. All right. Nolan Smith was a rotational guy. Now you're asked to do more. Jalen Carter asked to do more. And yeah, it was ugly. It got ugly, right? Like, so I get your logic behind it. I just don't think that I just don't think the Vikings have enough. I don't think they can match the physicality that Philly is going to bring in that home opener.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
and
that could be a realistic expectation, but
yeah,
I'm just gonna stick with my pick.
No,
yeah.
that's fine. That's fine.
And I don't think Minnesota can load up to stop that run, or I don't think they'll really be able to run the football because Philly's been really solid and consistent when it comes to limiting the opposing run game.
Yeah, Ramondre Stevenson and Ezekiel Elliott struggled in week 1 against this Philadelphia defense, but I think they could be gotten in the passing game potentially. Moving on from there, let's talk about Sunday as we got the first game on the slate here. We got the Green Bay Packers coming off beating down Chicago, going into Atlanta into Mercedes-Benz Stadium, taking on the 1-0 Atlanta Falcons, coming off beating the Carolina Panthers. Also on Sunday. Last time these two teams played was October 5th, 2020, in Green Bay, put a hurting on Atlanta 30-16. Christian, how do you see this game shaking out?
Yeah, I mean, look, I like what I saw from Jordan Love the other day for Green Bay. They simplified the game, and they did what I was calling for the Packers to do with Aaron Rodgers last year. They built this offense around Aaron Jones. They moved the hell out the way and let him take over. Yeah, I see a confident Packers team. And as far as the Falcons, I still need to see a little more. Yeah, Bijan was great, but I need to see more from Kyle Pitts. I need to see more from Drake London. I'm going to take the Packers here on the road. I just think, they're the slightly better team. I know this is a pick 'em as far as the
I don't
spread,
think it's a pick 'em.
but I like Green Bay. I just think they're the better team.
Yeah, I think the Green Bay Packers were really not challenged very much on defense, as I think the Bears really struggled to really generate a consistent pass rush. And I'm not sure the Falcons will have that problem. I'm actually going to take the Falcons to win this game. I think they're at home. I think that's a good position for them to be in. I liked what they did with the running game, and I liked how they used Bijan Robinson as a rookie in his first game. And I think the Falcons, unlike the Chicago Bears, have one of the better offensive lines in the league. I'm taking the Falcons to win this game. TJ.
I just hope Desmond Ritter passes for more than 115 yards because that's not going to get it done against that defense. Like that secondary in Green Bay it's serious. First off, to Christian's point, we got to see more out of those two dudes. We got to see more out of Drake London and Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
They had a lot of hype. Going to Atlanta. And it's just it's not materializing. Like you don't win games on hype, right? What it is. So I don't know who's gonna cover Drake London because I frankly don't think it matters. I think if it's Jair Alexander, we already know how that's gonna go. And Rasul Douglas is more than capable of holding his own in a one-on-one situation. So the only thing that gives me pause. Cause for pause is Aaron Jones. I don't think he's going to be ready to play this Sunday. He came up a little limp in that game against the Bears. Like he put on that touchdown pass he caught, he came up limping. He didn't play the rest of the game. And we already know how hamstrings go because that's exactly what it was. So if if Aaron Jones don't play this Sunday, Atlanta probably escapes with a W. So I'm gonna go Atlanta by a field goal at home.
TJ, I'm the Falcon bandwagon. Moving on from this game, we got the Las Vegas Raiders going into Buffalo. Obviously, the Vegas Raiders beat the Denver Broncos in Week 1 in a game where they won 17-16. Buffalo obviously coming off that disaster on Monday Night Football. The last time these two teams locked up was also in 2020, the day before that Packers-Falcons game, and Buffalo came out 30-23. And this right here is my first lock of the week. I think Buffalo bounces back in a big way. And I got Buffalo Bills beating down the Las Vegas Raiders. I think Buffalo's going to be angry and hungry. It's their home opener. I think they put a big-time number on the Las Vegas Raiders. Boom.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Agreed.
I don't think anything else really needs to be said. Next game.
Welcome into the show real quick, Mr. Israel Rivera, CEO of Prime Sports World. What's up, buddy? You drinking your juice box?
I stayed off camera. I stayed off camera for that reason alone. You didn't have to put me out like that.
I'm just trying to get you to jump right into the show. Talk about Raiders Bills,
son. Raiders Bills. You know what? Actually, I think that game will be a little closer than expected, in my opinion, man. I think people are asleep on the Raiders, and I think the Bills are not as good as we thought they were. So I still think the Bills will win at home, but it'll be a lot closer than what people think.
Yeah, did you notice something, guys? Yesterday during that game, the Jets were running that football down Buffalo's throat, and they couldn't really stop it. Josh Jacobs is coming to town. He's a lot better than Breece Hall. So they're going to feed the ball. They're going to feed him the ball to try and really neutralize that Buffalo defense and keep Josh Allen and that offense on the sideline. I think it'll be closer, but I do like the Bills.
Moving on from there, we got the battle in the AFC North. We got the Baltimore Ravens coming off that victory against the Houston Texans, going to Cincinnati, who are licking their loons after getting beat down by the Cleveland Browns in Week 1. Who moves to 2-1, and does one team move to 1-1? How do you guys see this game shaking out? Cincinnati and Baltimore. Izzy, you have the floor.
Man, you know what? Both quarterbacks played horrible last week, but I just think I attest that to like cobwebs and not playing in preseason. I think you start to see a lot of teams struggle that first week because they didn't play, like some of their quarterbacks didn't play in preseason. So with that being said, I expect Joe Burrow to play a lot better in this game. I think this is going to be a high scoring affair. But I'm going to take the Bengals. We know that the Baltimore Ravens are a great running team, but if Lamar can't, if he can't take care of the football, it might be a long day for them, especially if Joe Burrow is on point with that offense. So give me the Baltimore Ravens to win. Cincinnati Bengals to win that game.
TJ.
It was a lot of ifs in that statement.
I mean, that's all we got, right?
That was a lot of ifs.
That's all we got.
Put it this way.
All I know is look at the stats. He turned the ball over, 4 times?
Joe Burrow can't play no worse than what he did. And it's like, first off, shout out to Keyshawn Johnson on Undisputed for calling out the hypocrisy that some of these quarterbacks get. See, as long as folks like you, as long as the national media like you, they'll go out of their way to defend you. Right? So like everybody making excuses for Joe Burrow. Oh, he was hurt. He didn't play in the preseason. It was raining. I don't care. They paid you. Be great. That being said, Baltimore, I don't know how they feeling. They're probably used to it by this point. J.K. Dobbins losing him for the whole season. Again, that sucks because it's the second time in 3 years that he get hurt first game of the season and he's out for the rest of the year. That sucks. I think the one thing that we noticed for Cincinnati is they missing what's his name? Jesse Bates. They missing him, so I'm gonna go Baltimore. I'm gonna go Baltimore. Start off 2-0, and I don't expect Lamar to turn the ball over. Did he turn the ball over 4 times? Did he throw 3 picks and a fumble?
I don't have the number right in front of me. Sorry. Hold on.
Because I know he had a fumble.
Real quick while I look this up, I'm
going Baltimore.
I'm gonna go Cincinnati. I think they bounce back. So Lamar Jackson only had 1 pick. I think he only had the 1 turnover in this game. So.
Yeah, I'm taking Cincinnati as well. I don't trust Baltimore secondary against these
No,
weapons.
so I'm about
Yeah,
You are
yeah.
by yourself.
Yeah, you always.
The Chief stands alone.
He always by himself. Ain't nobody care.
Lamar Jackson accredited for two. He had one fumble and a pick, 2 turnovers in this game. So
yeah, I like Cincinnati. I like Cincinnati. I'm still not trusting Baltimore's secondary. I think this game is going to be decided by a touchdown.
Moving on from there, let's talk about as we move into the battle of one of the most entertaining games of last season, rematch against the Seattle Seahawks and the 1-0 Detroit Lions. Obviously, Seattle come and get embarrassed by the Los Angeles Rams in their own building. Detroit obviously beat the defending champs, Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, they had one of the better games of the year last year, where Seattle won a game 48-45 in an absolute shootout. But how do you see this game shaking out, TJ?
I think both tackles are hurt for the Seahawks, right? Ain't that what's being said?
Hold on, I will find that out right now.
So if both your starting,
so they added Jason Peters. I imagine, their tackles are banged up. Abraham Lucas missed the second half with a sore patella, and left tackle Charles Cross left with a sprained big toe. So neither of those guys returned to the game. It's unclear at this point if they will not play, but they did sign Jason Peters off the fishing line. So
who's 41 years old, by the way, just throwing it out there. Home opener for Detroit. Whew. Yeah, give me the Lions. I don't think it's going to be close either, especially if those two tackles can't go.
I'm taking the Lions as well. Izzy.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Went to go grab me another juice box. And I just scarfed down some food too, by the way. That was a world record. Anyways, I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks to bounce back and beat Detroit in their house. Look, let me see something, man. Hey, Geno Smith, he couldn't play as he played very poorly last week. I expect him to bounce back, especially now he's got a new weapon, right? Jackson Smith and Jugba. That's going to open up Tyler Lockett. That's going to open up DK Metcalf. And those guys are both going to open up. And you know who else had a bad game? Noah Fant had a real bad game. So I expect all those weapons to come back and play against Detroit. Now, one thing I will say about Detroit, adding CJ Gardner-Johnson might be a key to that defense. I mean, he brings that spark, that edge to that defense. And I could already see them already, a handful better with him. With that being said, I'm going to Seattle Seahawks. I think it's going to be another shootout. I like what I saw out of Jahmyr Gibbs. I like what I saw out of David Montgomery. I like that running back tandem. That could be probably one of the best running back tandems in the NFL right there when it's all said and done this year. But with that being said, I like the Seattle Seahawks. I think the defense is going to be playing better. I think Geno Smith is going to play a lot better. I think the weapons are going to be too much for Detroit to handle. Give me Seattle.
I'm actually on the road. I'm taking Seattle. I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks.
I don't hate it.
Look, I just think, Geno's going to write back.
Stop drinking your son juice boxes.
Okay. Wait, what'd he say?
I told Izzy stop drinking his son juice boxes.
You funny as really disgusting.
Go ahead, Christian. Sorry.
I like Seattle. Look, Izzy, man. I'll let you be great. Okay.
Thank you. Come on, man. It's Flash and Fruit Punch. Come on. No, it's not like Flash and Fruit Punch.
Hey, Fruit Punch is pretty fire.
Yes.
Christian, sorry.
TJ over there drinking stale ass yak.
Let's reel it in.
One thing
I like Seattle.
One thing about my yak ain't never gonna be stale. Be respectful.
Man, look, I'll deal with you after the show.
Jesus Christ. Anyway,
Christian.
Anyway,
I like Seattle.
I like Seattle, and see what TJ fails to realize. I have his recording for Monday, even the quarterback. I can just drop that shit.
Moving on. Let's just move on. Let's swing into the AFC And we got the battle between the AFC West and the AFC South, as we got the Los Angeles Chargers licking their wounds after getting beat by the Miami Dolphins, going into Tennessee and taking on the Titans, who lost to the New Orleans Saints in week 1. And this right here is my second lock of the week. I'm taking the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm taking the Los Angeles Chargers to be my second lock of the week. I just think that they're going to bounce back. They were good enough to win that game against Miami. They just didn't finish and didn't close out. I don't think Tennessee has nearly the firepower to compete with the Los Angeles Chargers. I also don't think Ryan Tannehill was woefully bad in his first game of the season. Give me the Chargers. My second lock of the week.
Was terrible.
You know what I said. You know what I said when we talked about that literally yesterday, man. I legit said we know what Ryan Tannehill is. We know what he is. They've had their run with him. We know the length of that run. We know how far they can get, right? Why would you draft 2 young quarterbacks if you ain't gonna play them and see what they can do? Like, what are they learning? What are they like? How are you developing these 2 young dudes, right? Especially Malik Willis, because he has a year on. Like he has a year on Will Levis. So I wouldn't mind at all if they come up to this game and they say, Malik Willis, you're starting Sunday against the Chargers. Now, I think that's a bad beat because I think the Chargers going to beat their ass. They legit let one dude carve them up. And again, that does something to the psyche of an entire defense. That pisses you off.
That one dude is Tyreek Hill, though.
I don't care. One dude.
I mean, Tyreek Hill does it a lot.
I mean,
he pretty much does that to every NFL team.
But at the end of the day, it's one dude. Like it's one guy. You let one, like you dropped 34 points and you ran for 230 some yards. You win that game unless your defense gives up 215 yards receiving to one guy. So I expect the Chargers defense to come out, and I don't know how much of a statement is going to be made because it's the Titans, but I expect a statement to be made. So I'm picking the Chargers.
I don't know, man. Derrick Henry had it going early and often in that game before they lost to the Saints. But yeah, I agree with you, man. I'm going with the Chargers, man. I think Mike Williams get back on track. He didn't have the game that he wanted last week. I think he, can get over 100 yards and a tutty in this game. I think, was it Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler? I mean, that offense is high powered. It's high powered, man. It's high powered. So it's going to be, it's like, if you can't keep up with the Chargers, then you're going to be in for a long day at the office. And Tennessee just can't do that. And to go back on your point, I actually do agree. I think that by this game, probably, if they struggle offensively at the quarterback position, you will see Malik Willis.
You gotta see one of them.
You'll see one of them. You'll see one of them. And Malik Willis played. It was like night and day from his rookie season to preseason this year. I mean, he was a much better quarterback.
They can do so much more with him, like that. Because he adds another element to the run game. You got to be wary of that. It's so much more they can do with him. So I don't know why
but I still got the Chargers though.
Christian.
Yeah, so I think Derrick Henry's gonna have one of those Derrick Henry-esque games. I could see him close to a little over 220 yards rushing because
disrespectful.
That is.
And look.
It's hot in my kitchen. It just got a little hotter.
When you talk, TJ. Look, and didn't I promise him? Look, didn't I promise lunch if I hit on some money? Yes,
man. Make your point. Come on now.
So, I like the Chargers. I just think the Titans are going to run out of firepower because they don't have enough of it. I think Justin's going to pick apart that Tennessee secondary. Yeah. I'm picking the Chargers.
Sweep it.
Moving on from this game, we're going into Raymond James Stadium in Southern Florida as we got the Chicago Bears coming off getting beat down by the Green Bay Packers, rolling into Tampa taking on the Buccaneers.
Oh, say that
fresh off
again, David.
beating-
Say that again. Repeat
I'm not
that
saying
again.
it.
Don't start that. Don't start that.
Going into Tampa Bay, fresh off beating the Minnesota Vikings, kind of at the bell there. Obviously, the last time these two teams played was 2 years ago, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat them down 38-3. But Tom Brady ain't walking through that door. How do you see this game shaking out? TJ, I'll let you have the floor first.
Well, if Sunday won the wake up call for our Chicago Bears, I don't know what will be. I legit expect the first time they get the ball, I guarantee it's gonna be a deep shot to either Mooney or Moore.
It better be the DJ Moore.
It's gonna be a deep shot to one of them two. I swear to God, it's gonna be like that's the like how they started off the Giants against the Giants that last year. It's like the second drive. It was like, all right, we finna take the top off, and he connected on like a 50-some yard pass to Darnell Mooney. Yeah, I expect one of them to start the game for the Bears, and that's gonna set the tone out the gate. I think with Tampa Bay, and it's the same thing with the Bears. I think like we gotta handle them on a week-to-week basis because we don't know what we're gonna get out of both teams. To Christian's point, we didn't expect them to beat Minnesota. We didn't expect that. Like Baker Mayfield went in and he held his own against it. Like first off, I hate that for you.
I know.
I hate that for you.
Me too.
I hate that. Hate that for you. Not really, but I hate that for you.
Yeah.
Like that defense came to show up though. Like that one play where I forgot who Kirk Cousins threw the ball to, but the safety just snatched it from him. And they want like they credited Kirk Cousins with an interception on that. I'm like, no, that was just
Antoine
a better
Winfield?
play.
Because he was
that
all over
him?
the field. I might have been. He was all over the field. I mean, the one thing about the Bucs that I noticed, TJ, man, on defense, their star guys showed out and showed up against Minnesota.
They still got some got some hitters on that defense.
They still got some hitters on that defense, man. The two linebackers, Devin White, Levante David, the big nose tackle in the middle. Vea. Antoine Winfield. All those guys showed out against the Minnesota Vikings. And so that showed me that the blueprint on defense is still there. Now, offensively, here's the question. Which Baker are we going to see against the Chicago Bears, right? Because what we saw in Minnesota was a motivated Baker Mayfield, a guy, the Baker Mayfield that we all know that's very competitive, that likes to prove people wrong, that has a chip on the shoulder. That's how Baker Mayfield plays. When he plays like that, he's at his best. And he made plays all over the field, especially in crunch time against Minnesota. With that being said, what I want to see from the Chicago Bears is I want to see them get DJ Moore more involved. 2 targets last week, that's pitiful. You can't do that. They didn't even target him in the second half. I don't understand what the hell the game plan was. He's going to be your best wide receiver. Chase Claypool, sometimes he looked like he was running out there aloof. Darnell Mooney was the only one making plays. Cole Kmet didn't even get as many targets. They didn't get the running game going. And then another thing is, I know people want to blame Justin Fields, but I mean, it's the same thing, right? The offensive line has to give this kid some time to throw the football. You let the Green Bay Packers last week, who were in the bottom half of the league in quarterback, the same defensive line, may I say, were in the bottom half of the league in quarterback pressures and quarterback sacks. I'm talking about they were like 25 through 30. I don't know the number, but they're in the bottom half of the league. They were one of the worst teams. They're one of the worst teams to get, and you let them just get all over, just 4 sacks last week. That is unacceptable for all the money that they paid in the offseason, for all the anticipation that they had for the Chicago Bears this offseason. That was a pure and utter disappointment at home to let Jordan Love, who hasn't even only had 2 starts, put that many points on you. Aaron Jones, I mean, the score could have been even a lot more if Aaron Jones didn't hurt his hamstring, right? He was gashing up. Even though you want to say, we stopped him for 2.9, Aaron Jones was getting 4.6 a clip when he was on his best runs, right, in the first half and especially in the second half. So the Chicago Bears need a wake-up call, like you said. What's that term say? You got to look at the man in the mirror, right? You have to go into Tampa Bay. You know Tampa Bay's feeling hot. They just beat the Minnesota Vikings, who we'll get to it because they're in the rebuild. They're just in denial. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to come in hot. They're going to play great at home. I think the defense is still going to be there. What you need to do, and another thing, the defensive line, you got to get pressure. If you can get to Baker Mayfield, it's going to be a good day for the Chicago Bears. But hey, you have to do the things, the necessary things. Get DJ Moore involved, protect Justin Fields, give him a clean pocket, have a better game plan than what they had against Green Bay. That's just my thing. I think I got the Chicago Bears beating Tampa. I want to say I got the Chicago Bears beating Tampa, but if they lose to Tampa, I mean, Chicago radio is going to blame it all on Justin Fields again, Matt Eberflus, and Luke Getsy, and it's just going to be ugly. And by week 4, we're going to start talking about, Chicago Bears maybe looking for another franchise quarterback in the next year's draft. I don't want to see that. So they got to win this week. It's a big game this week. Bigger game than what people anticipate.
Is he like you don't want to see it, but it's already been happening.
Moving on from this, I'm going with the Chicago Bears as well. I think they beat Tampa Bay. I don't know what version of Baker Mayfield we're going to see. I have faith that the Bears will bounce back after what was a pretty bad week 1 performance. Christian.
Just a bad second half.
I like Tampa. Like I trust that Tampa defense a little bit more than I do anything on the Bears at this point. But like you did say, what Baker Mayfield shows up, and they don't need him to take the game over. Just need him to hand the ball off, kind of control things. I don't know if the Bears have an answer for Mike Evans, and I think that Tampa defense, they're going to get after Justin Fields. I like the Buccaneers.
Moving on from this game, we're swinging into the AFC. We got a rematch of a playoff matchup from the most past season. Kansas City Chiefs coming in 0-1 after they lost to the Detroit Lions, going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who beat the Indianapolis Colts in Anthony Richardson's debut. Christian, how do you see this game shaking out? Jags?
David, it's that
let's go. Shameless plug number one.
Baby. Shameless plug number 1. It sounds like Kansas City's about to get some reinforcements. Travis Kelce is expected to play, and Chris Jones signed that 1-year contract yesterday, that 1-year extension. Kansas City got punched in the mouth the other day, and it didn't help.
Lost by 1.
Yeah, but it also didn't help that a certain somebody couldn't catch the football either.
I've been hearing that from the Giants fans. I'm in with a lot of Giants fans, Christian, some diehards, and they couldn't do nothing but laugh at Kadarius Toney because this is a guy who faked the injury to get traded, right? And Giants faithful just absolutely hate this dude. So
Izzy, quick question: were they laughing when they lost 40-0?
No, they're quite pissed off.
Okay, never mind.
With that being said, with the pick, who do you got winning the game? I mean, give me some analysis before obviously. When are you gonna?
You saw Jacksonville with Calvin Ridley. You saw what they were able to do without him last year on the offensive side of the ball. He and Trevor Lawrence were playing pitch and catch against this Indy defense, and I think they can do the same against this Kansas City defense because it seems like Kansas City can't get home to the passer unless they blitz or unless they put additional guys in the box. I preview this one on Friday before I jump on College Football Showdown with Izzy. Be on the lookout for it.
Yeah, I think Kansas City bounces back here. I wasn't overly impressed with what I saw of the Jacksonville Jaguars. At least, I think their offense looked a little bit redundant, a little stagnant at times, especially in that second half, as they didn't really get Calvin Ridley involved as much in the second half. I actually kind of like what I saw to Kansas City's defense, at least in week 1, even without Chris Jones, limiting a potent Detroit Lions offense. I'm going to take Kansas City to win the game.
I'm with David. I'm going with Kansas City. Christian, you said what you said, right? The Lions punched the Chiefs in the mouth, and they only lost. I ain't never seen a team get punched in the mouth, and they still have the chance to win the game at the end of the day.
How is it that Detroit literally ran the same play? It was that play action, and then finding Amon-Ra St. Brown in the middle of the field.
Because that's at the same time, that's also them knowing, like, hey man, that one dude on defense ain't here to wreck shop. So,
Mhm.
yeah, like Jared Goff, they call a break. No Chris Jones on offense, no on defense. No Travis Kelce on offense. The Jags, they gotta be like, God damn it, why can't we ever get that lucky? Why we gotta catch? Why we gotta catch the Chiefs at full strength? And right, like seriously, why we got why can't we catch a break? Kelsey's coming back, so like all those scramble plays that Mahomes had on Sunday against the Lions, where he didn't know where to go, all reliable's gonna be back. All reliable's gonna be back, and Chris Jones is gonna be back. So it's gonna be a good game. I'm still say that, and I don't expect Kadarius Toney to drop 5 passes.
He was injured. He was injured most of the preseason. He didn't
I
even
ain't
get
trying to
to
hear
play
that. He
most.
was
Of
out there
No,
playing.
but he didn't get. He was rusty. He didn't get to play preseason. Just like a lot of these guys in week 1. You saw how rusty all these guys were in week 1. I expect a lot of these guys to come out week 2 and ball out. Give me the Chiefs to win this game. I'll be quick. Getting Travis Kelce and Chris Jones is a big boost. Travis Kelce is going to open up a lot of things for Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney. Sky Moore, we don't talk about him enough. He didn't have a good game either.
Yeah,
and they're still trying to find that, losing Juju in the offseason. I mean, before that, you lost Tyreek Hill. They're still trying to find that main weapon at wide receiver. And I will tell you right now, MVS ain't that guy. He'll give you one good week like he did last week, and then next week he'll be terrible. So give me the Chiefs.
Speaking from experience,
with that being said.
Moving on from there, was kind of staying with the AFC South as 2 of their teams are going head to head. We got the 0-1 Indianapolis Colts going up against the 0-1 Houston Texans. Both starting rookie quarterback Anthony Richardson versus CJ Stroud. Pick 2 versus pick 4 in this year's draft. I don't necessarily know who's going to win this game, but I'm going to take the Houston Texans. I just think that they have more around their young quarterback than I think the Colts do right now. Even though I was very impressed with the defense of the Indianapolis Colts going up against a Jacksonville team that was pretty. Actually, I'm going to take the Colts to win the game. I'm changing my mind.
You know what, man? I'm going to go with the Colts too to win this football game, and I think both teams have good young defenses. And I think the Indianapolis Colts, they looked phenomenal on defense last week.
Giving up 31 points is phenomenal.
No. I'm saying like they made plays. I mean that fumble.
I mean, they were on the field. Button. They were literally on the field a ton. Like, yeah. I mean,
they played pretty well for being on the field for that long. And one thing I would say, Anthony Richardson, when he gets in the red zone, I mean, they're going to find ways to get him in the end zone. You see the flashes and talent. You saw it in week 1. I think you'll see a little bit more week 2. Even though I thought CJ Stroud looked pretty decent week 1 myself. So I don't know. Like David said, I don't know who's going to win. This is a toss up. Man, give me Indianapolis.
Christian.
TJ.
No, Christian.
I'm gonna take Houston.
My man.
I'm taking the Texans. They're at home. I think this Texans defense, they're gonna get after Anthony Richardson. I just hope Anthony can protect himself because
my man.
Yeah, I'm taking Houston.
Thank you. Thank you. Somebody with some sense. Whoo! I was worried that for a minute.
Just talk shit. I'm gonna deal with him after the show.
I was worried that for a minute. Yeah, give me the Texans, man. Give me the Texans, please. Like, give me the Texans.
From the AFC South, we're swinging to the NFC West as 2 of the remaining undefeated from that division are going up against each other. San Francisco 49ers coming off beating down the Pittsburgh Steelers. And one of the most shocking results of the entire weekend, Los Angeles Rams beating Seattle the way they beat them. They're hosting that game in SoFi Stadium. Obviously, I'm just going to make this brief. I think the San Francisco 49ers are the better team. I think the Los Angeles Rams, I don't know how they pulled off what they did in week 1. I do not think they'll pull it off in week 2.
Give me San
Francisco 49ers.
I've been talking about Puka Nacua all season too.
Yeah, okay.
I have been though. We can go back and look at. We can go get the receipts. I've been talking about Puka Nacua. I think he was going to be an excellent pick. Was 5th round pick out of BYU, tall guy. But with that being said, 49ers. gonna dominate this game on defense. And let me tell you something. Hey, all that when Aaron Donald was coming after Geno Smith, that soundbite was so funny.
David, did you find that yet?
No, I forgot to look. I'm
he said, "Oh my god." He said, "Oh my god."
I do not think. I think Aaron Donald will have his moments, but that offensive line is way better.
Hey man,
way better than Seattle's.
TJ Watt had his moments, right? Like David said, Pittsburgh had 3 sacks against them. They were all TJ Watt. So, yeah, Aaron Donald gonna get his. It's just a matter of making sure he don't get too much of it. And even if he does get his, at the end of the day, like we said against the Steelers, it didn't matter, right? TJ Watt single-handedly had 3 sacks, and it was completely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. I was talking to Christian for his show, Monday Evening Quarterback, shameless plug. Listen to it. It's great. And we were talking about the Bears Packers, and this was his analogy. This was Christian's analogy. He was like, it's kind of like the 49ers and the Rams in terms of it's just a bad matchup. They just don't match up well with them at all. Like, you take you take away the Super Bowl year for the Rams. The Rams, looking back on it, they shouldn't have went. Jakari, what's his name? Jakari Twist, or what? He had a punt that Matthew Stafford threw up in the air, which would have been a game-sealing interception, and he drops it. He drops the interception. Like that was the game right there. Like this, you take that away, the Rams, even when the 49ers are bad, even when the Jim Tom Sula Niners was trotting out there against the Rams, they gave them all they can handle. Now you got all these guys, these all pros left and right, and you got a rebuilding, or no, that's not the phrase they use in LA. It's a the hell they saw it's a remodeling. Very LA of them to say that. It's not a rebuild, it's a remodel.
You know what, on the 49ers side, we haven't even mentioned like Brandon Ayuk taking that next step. Christian McCaffrey was awesome last week. I mean, Brock Purdy looked great last week. The offensive line is all pro.
From what I heard on the national media, and speaking of Brandon Ayuk, he's the number one guy. Not Debo Samuel. Like, in terms of like the receivers, he's the number one.
I would actually agree with that.
I think Brandon Ayuk is their purest wide receiver on the team.
He definitely is. He definitely is.
Christian.
Come on, David.
Shameless plug number dos. Let's go.
Oh, damn. Why'd you waste a shameless plug on this?
Come on, man. Business is business. You know what I'm saying? I agree with what David just said. Brandon Ayuk is their best pure wide receiver, but look at what Christian McCaffrey's brought to this table, because everything that Debo was doing prior to Christian getting there, that's what CMC is doing now. Like, Debo can just kind of solely focus more on being a receiver, and someone rudely tried to debate me the other day and then pretty much said I was an idiot without actually saying it. That the 49ers aren't the best defense in the league. It's either the Cowboys or the Jets. You don't watch football. Just say that. It's okay.
He said rudely.
Rudely. Yeah, I preview this one tomorrow. Be on the lookout for it.
Is he getting another juice box?
Man, let that man.
Moving on from there, we're going to swing back into the battle between two NFC foes. We got the New York Giants coming off one of the worst defeats in the history of their franchise, going up against the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, they lost against the Commanders. I'm taking the Giants to bounce back in a big way. They win this game.
Next game.
Are we sweeping this? Just consensus? All right, moving on from this game, let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys going into the MetLife State, the New York Jets rolling into Dallas and taking on the Dallas Cowboys. It's not really clear who the starting quarterback is going to be for the New York Jets. It will be Zach Wilson, I believe. It won't be Tom Brady. I do not think they're going to bring in Carson Wentz either. I don't think they're going to ask Matt Ryan to be the guy either. Will it matter against this Dallas Cowboys team?
No.
The last time they played the Jets was in 2019, and the Jets actually had the advantage there, 24-22.
Man, the way that Cowboys defense looked, Micah Parsons looked all world, well around all not all pro, all world, all universe. Trayvon Diggs looked like he was back to his first team all pro self. That defense looked amazing. Man, I mean, it's going to be a long day at the office for the Jets offensively, but I think defensively, I think it's going to be a long day for the Cowboys defense offense on them for offense because that Jets defense, I think that Jets defense is going to be a top 5 defense this year. They play with so much speed. They fast. They're physical. Quentin Williams is a monster.
I think they're going to get exhausted. I think they're going to get exhausted. I think they're going to get burnt
I think they're going to be able to turn Dak over. I think they're going to turn him over. I think they're going to make it interesting. And I think the Jets might shock some folks in Dallas. I'm going to go with the upset and call it the Jets here. I'm going to go with the Jets to win. Defensively, I'm not trusting Zach Wilson. All Zach Wilson got to do is play. If Zach Wilson just knows this, I don't need to do too much. Let me play game manager. Let me be the point guard and just distribute the ball. Once he figures that out, though, then he'll be decent in the league. Defensively, this team is great.
They are. Here's the thing. So, like Dallas teams in the past couple years, right? It used to be, hey, just don't throw the Trayvon Diggs side. Target whoever else is playing corner over there. You can't do that now.
Gilmore.
You got right. That's future Hall of Famer. You can't do that now. So you really got to be smart, and you really got to, pick it apart, like pick the defense apart and all the other stuff. Again, this offensive line leaves much to be desired. Quiet as kept. Like Dwayne Brown is like, I feel bad. Yes, you should. It's your fault.
It is your fault.
It's your fault.
It's your fault the Packers don't get a first-round pick, man.
With that being said,
I'm taking the Cowboys.
Third lock of the week for this week. I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys. As long as they don't bust out, all of a sudden Tom Brady doesn't come out of the phone booth or some BS. I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys as my third lock of the week. I think that defense, like the Bills gave the Jets fits. And the Dallas defense is even better than the Bills, especially when it comes to the pass rush department. Dallas puts up maybe 7 sacks during this game. They win this game easily.
I don't think they win it easily, David. And you could say that, and that's your opinion. But I think defensively, the Jets are going to make it just as hard on Dak Prescott. They're going to make it just as hard on Dak Prescott, and they're going to turn him over. And I like what I saw on special teams. And I like what I saw on defense. And I think when defense travels, right, it don't matter where you go, defense travels. And I think that defense is going to keep the Jets in the game. And if it's a close game, I like the Jets. I don't trust Mike McCarthy at all whatsoever in any close game situation. Okay, let me just say that right there. I always say that to the day I die.
Christian.
All right, David. One more.
Oh, let's go. Shameless plug number 3.
Baby. I didn't think I would preview this one. I was talking to TJ about it, and he was like, yeah, you might have to preview this, but we don't know what's going to happen. We saw what happened. Look, that Dallas defense is Super Bowl caliber. The only thing that's holding them back is the inconsistency of the offense and one Dak Prescott. I preview this one on Thursday. Be on the lookout.
Moving on from this game, swinging into the Commanders-Broncos games. Obviously, the Commanders coming off beating the Arizona Cardinals at their house. Or actually, they may have been on the road in that game. I don't really remember. Going up against Denver, who obviously started the Sean Payton era, not ideal, losing that game to the Las Vegas Raiders. Last time these two teams played was in 2021. Denver beat them 17-10, and I think that will be a very similar result in this game. I think Denver bounces back from which was a disappointing debut for Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos. I think they get the best of the Washington Commanders, especially since this game is in Mile High. Give me Denver.
I'll go next. Yeah, give me Denver as well. Even though, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. That team still doesn't look impressive to me under Sean Payton. But give me Denver just by for the fact that Washington, I thought their defense was going to be a little bit better last week.
I mean,
They showed some signs.
They gave up 10 points. I mean, how much better a 65? I mean,
I wanted them to like don't give up any points. How about that? That's Arizona. They got the engineer. They got an aviation engineer playing quarterback out there. Okay, come on.
I'm with Izzy on that one. They signed Joshua Dobbs at like the 12th hour.
That's true.
Flew him in for a game, and like they were supposed to make his life a living hell. It had no business coming down to a Sam Howell scramble at the end.
Yeah, to win the game. Yeah, that's true.
That being said, about Washington's defense, that Izzy said, Chase Young is starting to get that word thrown around about him.
Ooh, the B word?
The B word.
Oh.
And some points, and again, like, hey, I don't want to hear that. Oh, I don't hear what the people got to say. Like, yeah, you do. This is social media age. You hear everything. You hear everything. You see everything. You see them people calling you a bust. You see it. You hear it. Do something about it. That being said, this is absolutely the game to do something about it. You're going to Denver. They looking to bounce back because they had that game won. And they let it slip away that Jimmy Garoppolo got Raiders fans thinking Jimmy G was better than David Carr ever was. Christian knows.
Oh my gosh. You guys still got that Raider fan in that group that's just like is delusional? Yeah,
You hit a laugh. You hit a laugh.
So
anyways,
the Broncos.
Moving on to the.
I can't. Look, I like the Commanders in this one. Next game, I like the Commanders. That defense is gonna play on Sunday. They getting after. Look, I love me some Russell. Last name Wilson and Izzy. I need you to fix the face.
Hey, is Jerry Jeudy coming back? He ain't coming back this week, is he?
I doubt it.
Right? Like, yeah.
TJ, you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yep.
Upset City, baby.
Moving on from this game, swinging into Sunday Night Football. We got the Miami Dolphins going into Foxborough, taking on the New England Patriots. Obviously, Miami won that thriller against the Chargers. New England lost a heartbreaking game against the Philadelphia Eagles. How do you see this game shaking out, Christian? Go ahead and have the floor, my friend.
So, this matchup can go either way because New England always struggles in Miami, and Miami always struggles in England. And what's Bill Belichick known for doing? Taking away what it is you do best. So he's going to throw a lot of double teams at Tyreek Hill, and who knows? Maybe he'll force Tua to go to Jalen Waddle in this game, or maybe he'll force Miami to run the football a little bit more. Look, between these two quarterbacks, I trust Tua a little bit more. I think New England makes it interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if New England won, but I like the Dolphins to start 0-2. I mean, to start 2-0. I'm taking Miami.
Christian, I trust Tua a lot more. Not a little bit more. I trust him a lot more.
Hey, I'll say this. That game against the Eagles, Mac Jones looked a lot better than what he did last season. I mean, obviously, he couldn't play no worse than what he did last season. You can definitely show you can definitely see the improvement that having an actual offensive coordinator does, right? Like he wasn't late on no reads. He was making the correct reads. He did. He had one bad interception. That was Darius Slay. That was big play Slay being big play Slay. Like, what can you do about that? I would have liked more effort from, Mac Jones on the tackle attempt of big play Slay during the return. But that's just me though. It's not the disadvantage that people think it is, like Miami going up to New England. Why? Because it's still warm that time. It's still warm for this time of year up in New England. And usually the disadvantage for them is when they go down to Miami and it's super, like it's they go from really cold weather to still humid weather, and I think they play each other. They play each other early enough in the season where that's not going to be a factor. Christian Gonzalez is a player. They got one.
It's
I
all
feel
in the name. It's all in the name.
they got a player. So obviously you're not trusting him. You're not leaving him 1-on-1 with either one of these two speed dudes because I just think that's just not his forte. They gonna have to double. Yeah, coming off of that week, yeah, you got to double Tyreek Hill. If Jalen Waddle does what Tyreek Hill did a week ago, then hey, more power to you. Walk to the middle of the field, shake hands, say good luck in the season. See you down the road.
Mm-hmm.
That being
Guys,
said, I gotta go with Izzy. I gotta go with Miami. I just don't think I don't think they have enough. I just don't.
Like I said, Christian, I trust Tua a lot more. And they look at man, speed kills. They getting another speed weapon back in rookie Devin Chain coming back. He was inactive in week 1. You want to talk about speed in the open field? Oh, that boy is like the road runner. Beat.
Yeah.
He's gone. Get him out in open field. Oh, it's gonna be a tough day for any. I don't care who Christian Gonzalez is. So first of all, that's first of all. So speed kill. So and now I'm gonna leave it off this. I'm going Miami. This is like a Ferrari going against a Honda. Who gonna win in the drag race? The Ferrari. That's all I'm gonna say.
Moving on from this game.
Hey, but at the end of the day, who's more reliable? The Honda.
The Honda. I will say that.
Moving on from this game, we got 2 games on Monday Night Football, as we should have every week. First of all, we got the Saints and the Panthers going against each other. Saints obviously squirked out that victory against the. I don't remember now.
Saints?
The Tennessee.
Yeah, the Titans. Thank you.
Tennessee,
Panthers obviously lost to the Atlanta Falcons. How do you see this 2 games shaking out? I'm taking the Saints.
I'm going Saints too. I don't even got to talk about it, man. Saints look good. I like Derek Carr's energy on that team. And yeah, Bryce Young's gonna go through his rookie struggles. Yeah, give me the Saints.
Yeah, he gonna get introduced to Cam Jordan and Honey Badger and Marshawn Lattimore, and yeah, it's gonna be a long day at the office. Yeah, it's gonna be a long day at the office.
Mm-hmm.
Christian.
Mm-hmm.
To the final game of the weekend. We got the Cleveland Browns going to whatever they're calling Heinz Field now and taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers obviously getting bounced hard by the San Francisco 49ers. Browns shocking the world a little bit by beating the Cincinnati Bengals. Christian, how do you see this game shaking out?
I don't see Mike Tomlin starting 0-2.
I don't see that either.
I think the Steelers bounce back here. I don't trust Cleveland to have back-to-back games like that. Give me the Steelers. They're at home. They usually dominate in this game. I think Kenny Pickett's going to be better. Hopefully they can establish Najee Harris a little bit more. And if I see Myles Garrett pretend to cross somebody over before he rushes past the
real talk. If I'm the Cincinnati Bengals, I have never been more insulted a day in my life.
Listen. He got to see me.
You got to take that personal. Like this man up there doing practice dribble moves before pass rushing you, and you couldn't do nothing. Couldn't do nothing about it.
Listen, I don't care how big Myles Garrett is. I don't care if he says my girl tastes like a Krispy Kreme. You got to see me.
You got to see. I will gladly take that unnecessary roughness penalty, whatever you want to call it. I will break my stance, walk across that line, and yeah. We got to have a conversation.
With that being said, I do think the Pittsburgh Steelers bounce back, which was a woeful week 1. I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers to win this game.
That was a bad matchup for the Pittsburgh. TJ Watt will probably never face a better offensive line this season than he did that Sunday. And he still got home 3 times. What's not being talked about right now for the Cleveland Browns is one of their tackles, I think either they left or they right, Jack Conklin. He just tore his
right tackle.
Right. He just tore his ACL. He's done.
Yeah, but he got injured pretty early in that game, and it didn't really matter.
He's done.
They have the Juwan Jones, who's like a mammoth human being. Like,
mm-hmm.
But
and TJ Watt is TJ Watt.
It's true. With that, yeah, picking the Steelers. Izzy.
Man, guys, I'm going with the Cleveland Browns.
It's always that
Ah.
one dude they gotta go against the grain. God,
Yes. I am going with the Cleveland Browns. Albeit, I know Deshaun Watson was pedestrian passing the football,
he was.
but I like the fact that he was able to get out the pocket, get that rushing touchdown, and when he's at his best, he can get out the pocket. He can score. He can make your life a living hell. I think Deshaun Watson's back, ladies. Oh, well, not ladies, but gentlemen. I think Deshaun Watson is back. I think this Cleveland Browns defense is for real. I think this Cleveland Browns offense is going to get better every week. And I don't believe in Kenny Pickett, and I never have, and I never will. And I think it was a mistake for the Pittsburgh Steelers to draft him. And I think they should have waited to get a quarterback.
That sounds
and I think they should try to. I think they should
kind of personal. That sounds the Pittsburgh beat Notre Dame when Kenny Pickett was there or something like that. That sounds
no, he didn't. But I just feel like the Pittsburgh Steelers made a mistake by drafting Kenny Pickett. I'm sorry if Kenny Pickett want to see me, he can see me all he wants.
Hey,
I bet he don't watch the show, but it's all good. If he does watch it one day, somewhat.
Izzy, to your point. They made all those excuses for Joe Burrow about how it rained. I could have sworn Deshaun Watson played in the same game.
Yeah, he was. He didn't even throw a touchdown in that game.
Yes, he did.
Oh yeah, he did. Harrison Bryant.
He threw a touchdown and he ran for a touchdown, but he threw a pick too though. So.
Don't matter though. But he ran like he played in the same rain and had a better game. But
he paced the game a lot better than Joe Burrow. I'll say that. And like I said, man. I think Pittsburgh, as good as their defense is supposed to be, I think they're gonna have a tough time trying to contain Deshaun Watson in that offense.
But yeah, that's been our Week 1 Monday Night Football recap. Thank you very much for checking us out. Week 2 preview and predictions. Also, shameless plugs from DailyBlitz.blog himself, Mr. Christian
and
Simpson.
Monday evening quarterback
as well. So continue checking us out. Please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. I'm David Huffman, CEO Israel Rivera from DailyBlitz.blog. Christian Simpson, my co-host, Mr. T.J. Hopkins. And gentlemen, what do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
We bring the heat, and a heat wave is coming sometime next week. It's going to be about 80, 83, 85, 88 sometime next week. So
we'll see what that ends up being. You all be safe on that. I'm going to go eat some dinner.
Bring the heat, baby.
I literally am not eating today. I'm starving. So I will talk to you guys all tomorrow. You guys all
have a good night. And
we're doing Fantasy Football Weekly tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that content.
TJ.
Fantasy.
I'm hanging up.